The hot and windless weather continued. If only the wind had blown, we shouldn't have minded. Day after day, night after night, the ship lay and wallowed, heading variously towards all points of the compass, and making no progress. The water in the tanks became hot, the bread wouldn't set, the cook in his stuffy galley had a harder job than ever, and the ship wouldn't steer, and the sails wouldn't fill, and the sea wouldn't do anything but wash lazily along our fast rusting sides and cause barnacles to grow there. That kind of weather brought sharks around, and hunting them made us forget that it was calm for an hour or two.
We're close to Cape Horn. We see more and more icebergs and there's sleet and snow every day. You know, you can't call yourself a sailor till you've been round Cape Horn.
What a memorable concert it was down there, lying in their bunks, huddled on their sea chests or in the forms. The boys gathered round and listened. Outside was the roar of the wind and the pelting of the rain overhead, but what did we care? We just listened to the music.
Skilly idle diddle dum, skilly idle diddle dum, skilly yum a diddle diddle dum day. Skilly idle diddle dum, skilly idle diddle dum, skilly yum a diddle diddle dum day. Skilly idle diddle dum, skilly idle diddle dum, skilly yum a diddle diddle dum day. Skilly idle diddle dum, skilly idle diddle dum, skilly yum a diddle diddle dum day.
The strange writhing glow surrounded the rigging. The feeling was ghostly, but the second mate explained that what we were seeing was only an electrical effect caused by the stormy conditions and the thunder, but knowing what caused it didn't make it any less frightening. Looking around us felt as if we were viewing the antechamber to hell itself. Lightning briefly illuminating the dark night, rolling thunder and will-o'-the-wisps flashing from the base to the very top of the mast. It felt as if the ship had stumbled into a satanic battle, in which ever more powerful forces had her trapped. The glow surrounding the ship was dazzling, and the helmsman had to be led to the forecastle. He was no longer able to see at all. Even among the officers, there was no one who had ever seen anything like it.
I love those ships. I've spent my life in them, and for them I will keep on. When I go, they go. But while I stay, they stay. I may be forced to sell some of my ships, but I shall keep all those I can while I live. How can I keep on? Because I never have a holiday. Because I look after them all, personally. Because I don't let others do anything I can do myself. Because I always keep a lot of apprentices. And because not one of the ships is insured.
The ship was staggering and lurching before a northwest wind in a manner we'd never seen before. 30 degrees to starboard, 30 degrees to port. Sleeping in a bunk was purgatory. One moment you were standing upright, the next your feet were pointing at the ceiling. At dinner, everything flew off the table and we got potatoes, stewed fruit and sugar down our necks. The benches fell over, books and papers flew out of the lockers and rolled over the filthy floor. Everyone enjoyed the confusion except the mess boy, who was trying to wash the dishes. "Hold tight!" someone began shouting.
We spent the whole day loading provisions. Such a long journey requires plenty of food. Carrying 2 tons of flour on board in 100-weight sacks turned my back into jelly. We had to carry 3 tons of sugar as well, and that was even harder. The sacks weighed twice as much. An unbelievable amount of food.
Day after day we raced onwards in the company of the west wind. When we reached the New Amsterdam Islands, fierce thunderstorms started to pound us with such force that we were afraid the mast would crack.
The ship's wheels connected to the rudder. So when you turn the wheel to the right, the rudder turns to the right, and vice versa. The greater the angle of the rudder, the more drag it creates. So it's important to trim the sails so that the ship can be steered with the smallest possible movements of the wheel. Now, this is the way to achieve the maximum possible speed through the water. In good following winds, you don't steer with the wind full astern, but so that the wind comes from 25 to 30 degrees on the port or starboard side of the stern. This way, the maximum amount of sail can catch the wind. If a vessel's unable to hold her course and tends to come up to the wind, or if the direction of the wind changes, a shivering on the weather side leech of the mizzen royal or topgallants warns the helmsman that the ship is getting too close to the wind. The helm must then be put down to leeward. If you don't take action in time, there's the danger that all the sails will be taken aback and result in dismasting and possibly the total destruction of the ship.
The sextant is used for measuring the altitudes of heavenly bodies or horizontal angles. The navigator holds the sextant perpendicular and sights the horizon through the plane half of the mirror. Then swings the index bar along the arc of the sextant until the object that he's sighting, either the sun, the moon or a star, is superimposed on the horizon. The arc of the sextant is graduated in degrees and minutes, and the altitude of the heavenly body can be read from the position of the index bar.
To save money, crew numbers are being cut to the bone. On a long journey there's more than enough to do. The ever-changing weather means sails have to be set, trimmed and struck at all times of the day, every day of the week. This is the hottest day so far, a good day to tar the deck. Each of the men on watch is given a large can of tar and 2 or 3 wads of almost worn-out scraps of sailcloth. Each watch carefully tars its own side of the ship. The boys are so covered in tar they look just like black scarecrows. Some of them have managed to protect their skin with a coating of tallow. Others have been badly burned in the scorching heat. The quicker the work can be done, the faster the torch is over. Then there's only the anchor winch to be painted.
The crew is divided into port and starboard watches. Each watch always has a lookout, helmsman and a policeman who runs errands and fetches the other members of the watch from the forecastle when help's required. When sail has to be reduced rapidly, even the off-duty watch is called out to help. In trades, where less work with the sails is needed, some of the crew work outside the watches as day men, repairing and maintaining the ship.